You are listening to a news item by Gerards from Gerards Gazette, dated 1st December 2024. The title of the article is Why the Noise? For the people of Anjuna, however, it's a season of dread. And going by what happened at the Anjuna Gram Sabha last week, the battle lines have been drawn. Things took an ugly turn when, during the Anjuna Gram Sabha held last Sunday, local activist Dr Inacio was clobbered by Gajanan Tilve and others when he was moving a resolution against noise pollution in the village by loud music parties that run late into the night. The incident. If you have seen the videos, you will have noticed that there was an argument between Inacio and Carlos, a restaurant owner, over an incident that happened presumably earlier in the week. Gajanan Tilve, a former member of Bharatiya Janata Yuva Morcha and who Michael Lobo confessed was his man, rushed in and swung at Dr. Inacio before policemen and others swarmed in to separate the two. This attack was not spontaneous. In fact, if you see the main characters in Sunday's Gram Sabha confrontation and compare them with the main characters in this confrontation between Michael Lobo and Manoj Parab into bracket remember him question mark bracket close from February this year, you will notice an evident overlap. It may be a different match, but one side has retained the same team from 9 months ago. It is no surprise then that Tilve had no hesitation in hitting out into bracket literally not figuratively bracket close at Dr. Inacio, knowing fully well that he enjoyed the backing of the powers that be and nothing would happen to him. In remarks made before the media later that day, Tilve went on to justify his attack and said that what he did was an outburst on behalf of the people of Anjuna against their fellow villagers who have been fighting against noise pollution for the last several years. True to form, the Anjuna Police Inspector Suraj Gavas, when asked about lack of penal action against Tilve, quipped something on the lines of, "An arrest is not mandatory in all cases," which is fine and is an argument I'm willing to buy because, after all, there are entire judgments, including those of the Supreme Court, that dictate when a police officer can and cannot make an arrest. But then what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If Norbert Fernandez, an activist who is battling against mega projects in Kamurli, a village that falls on the other side of Shiolim, can be arrested for allegedly assaulting a deputy sarpanch during a Gram Sabha, why is the same yardstick not being applied to Gajanan Tilve? Tells you everything you need to know about the balance of convenience as it is applied by the police in today's Goa. On to the larger issue then. How big is the noise problem? Very little of what is happening in Anjuna today is really new. If you read my report from more than 10 years ago, you will realize that other than an exponential increase in the number of establishments blaring loud music, the issue has really remained unchanged over the years. Lavino Rebello into bracket RIP bracket close is no more with us, but the battles he fought 10 years ago continue to resonate even today. The fight by the people of Anjuna today is only the latest battle in an ongoing war that, quite frankly, dates back even earlier to 2007 when the High Court set up citizens' committees to tackle loud music after petitioners alleged that the police were reluctant to act. In fact, it wasn't too long ago when Shiolim MLA Delilah Lobo herself, quite reluctantly it would seem, led a delegation of villagers from Shiolim constituency to complain to the police inspector about failure to crack down on noise pollution. Into bracket, don't miss the last few minutes of the video when an intrepid resident questions the MLA about music emanating from her own restaurant beyond 10 p.m. bracket close. Shouldn't those complaining about how activism is ruining tourism have raised their voices when the MLA herself led a delegation to the police inspector in charge of Anjuna police station to complain about noise pollution? What does the law say? According to the Noise Pollution into bracket Regulation and Control bracket close rules 2000, a loudspeaker or a public address system shall not be used at night into bracket between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. bracket close except in closed premises for communication within example auditoria, conference rooms, community halls, banquet halls, while on 15 days in a year during a cultural or religious festival occasion, the entire time is extended up to 12 midnight. There are two things that stand out from the rules. First is the ban on the use of loudspeakers in open premises between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m., irrespective of the zone one is located in. And Secondly, a person may, if at any time of the day the noise level exceeds the ambient noise standards by 10 decibels into bracket ambient or more given in the corresponding columns against any area or zone, make a complaint to the authority seeking action against the violator. The standards are as below. Industrial area, daytime 75, nighttime 70. Commercial area, daytime 65, nighttime 55. Residential area, daytime 55, nighttime 45. And silence zone area, daytime 50 and nighttime 40. The measurement is in decibels. What also stands out is how impractical these standards are to implement. For example, a normal conversation between two people is between 50 and 60 decibels. The sound of your AC, washing machine, etc., that's about 75 to 80 decibels. Your Bluetooth speaker, that can be as loud as 95 decibels. Then, there's the case that it's an offense only if the violation is 10 decibels above the standard, which in itself indicates that it's more of a guidance and less of a hard and fast rule. Then there's the argument about where the meter should be placed to record ambient sound levels. Should it be inside the venue, along the boundary of the venue, or outside the venue, close to the residents' houses? It's no wonder that when and if the authorities act only crack down on the 10 p.m. loudspeaker ban, will the High Court's latest decision to keep a live sound level screen at the Anjuna police station make a difference? I hardly think so. Will it kill tourism? One of the biggest arguments that the party proponents make is that the activists are trying to kill tourism, an argument that has been replied to by Dr. Inacio himself. But more than that sounds eerily similar to the one that was being made in favor of mining at the time the mining ban was imposed back in 2012, that it threatens livelihoods. Firstly, none of this is new. If you read my aforementioned piece from 2013, you will have noticed how the tea ladies' argument was one that was made back then too, that the killing of the party scene will kill their livelihood. Are they suggesting the law be ignored when it comes to Anjuna Vagator in the name of tourism and livelihoods? But more importantly, as this edit in the Goan last week argued, none of these protests can change the law or take away the 10 p.m. loudspeaker ban. Either you fall in line with it or do something else like selling fish in a fish market or something else, which ironically can get as loud as 130 decibels during peak hours. Perhaps our class teacher was on to something.